Hey guys, it's Simblr and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back with another speed build, and the name of this speed build, this build is called the Garden Cottage. It is on a 30 by 20 lot, and I just built it on one of those little strip lots in Newcrest, but I'm sure you can just place it on any 30 by 20 lot. And the price of this build is 82,160 simoleons. I tried not to use the most expensive items and everything, just because that wasn't really the style I was going for. I was kind of going for like a little cottagey feel or something, and I used very bright blue windows. I do change the color of this to like the darker blue, and I don't know why, but the windows are just my favorite part of this build. They just make me really happy. And all of the appliances and plumbing and everything is upgraded, so yeah, you won't have to worry about it breaking too much, because I did use the cheapest plumbing, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I used the cheapest bathtub or the sink, but I know I used the cheapest toilet, and I used some not very expensive other items, because I didn't want to use the most expensive updated things. I know I used the cheapest TV just because that's kind of the aesthetic I was going for. This house is kind of loosely inspired by my grandma's house. We used to spend a lot of time there, and I don't know, this house just makes me really happy. I don't know if it's just because it's technically based on my grandma's house, but I just really like it. And I did play in the house for a few days because I was upgrading everything, and I was making sure I tested everything to make sure everything worked correctly and everything was accessible. So everything does work, everything is accessible. I did have to change the attic a little bit. That's what that little room is up the top. I built an attic with like a little art studio area thing in it, and it's probably my favorite room in the house, honestly. But in the backyard, I was looking on I was looking on Pinterest for some pictures and ideas for landscaping and stuff, and I found this like little gardening shed with like a little fenced-in area and a big garden around it, and it kind of reminded me of my mom's greenhouse. So I decided to add one on this lot. So I guess this house is technically inspired by my grandma's house and by my mom. So I don't know, I guess that's why I really like this build, and it just makes me really happy. And I did a lot of landscaping and a lot of clutter, which I don't typically do just because it takes a really long time, but I just felt like this house needed it because I designed the house as like either an elderly woman or couple lives here, so I tried to clutter things up a bit, like maybe they collect things, and then in the little garden shed, it's acted more like some storage, so I just put a bunch of flowers and stuff in there because it is next to the garden. And I know my mom has a greenhouse, and she has like these shelves around, like 2 stacks of shelves and then tables in the middle. I tried to fit a table in the middle, but it wouldn't fit with all the shelves and everything because I did make it a little small, but you know, it turns out nicely anyway. I took out the table and I just put some shelves along the sides. I just put stacked shelves, and it looks pretty cool. I like the way it turned out. And on the top shelf, I couldn't really fit any of the plants because they were too tall, so I just decided to put a bunch of storage type clutter items. And I just kind of pretended like, you know, maybe those items belonged to this couple's kids or their grandkids, and they just stuffed it in there once they got older. And yeah, basically that's the idea I had. And I did plant some plants. You don't see them in the speed build part, but they are visible in the screenshots at the end of the video, so if you'd like to see that, then stick around for those. And I did play in the house for a few days, so I had my sim plant all of the items and everything. And she did take care of the garden a little bit because I cheated the top gardening skill. So I believe most of the plants should be at least nice quality or better. I'm pretty sure all of them are at least nice quality. And I'm sorry if I just keep pausing or something. The video is kind of skipping in my editing program because I didn't let it completely load before I started recording the voiceover, which I probably should have done, but you know, it is what it is. And then now I'm just going around adding little flower boxes to the windows because I thought they were cute. And I don't know, I just really like the windows in this house. It makes me happy. That's probably my favorite part of the house, honestly. I like the attic, obviously, I said that before, but I think the windows are probably my favorite. I don't know why, I don't really use too much color And I know a house I built on my channel a while ago. It was a collaboration I did with Sim instead. I used these bright green windows and I really liked it. So I decided to go with a similar idea for this one and just use bright blue windows instead of the green. And I really like them. I'm sorry if you just heard a chair slide across the floor. But anyway, I did add a bunch of ivy and stuff just because I felt like this house kind of needed it, because it is meant to be like a little cottagey type build, and I really like it. I like all the green and everything, and it just makes me happy. And then you can see all the dirt spots here. I fill all of that in with flowers, and I put a couple of trees. And in the backyard there's like a little sitting area next to this tree, and I put a couple of planter pots which I put trees in. I think I put an apple tree and a banana tree. And then in the garden I put some vegetables, and some flowers are on the smaller side, and some catnip and stuff. And I just really like this house. I love the way it turned out. It makes me really happy. I know I've said that already in this video, but this I don't know, I was just very inspired to build this house, and it just makes me really happy. I love it. And yeah, basically that's about it. I didn't use too many flowers. I think I might have used maybe 4 different types of flowers, and then this overgrown grass I believe came with Jungle Adventure. But I thought the grass made it look so much better just because it looks overgrown, and you know, if an elderly couple lives here, they're probably not going to be tending to the garden too much. I wouldn't think they would, because you know, they are up in their years. They probably wouldn't have the energy to be weeding the garden and everything, and I don't know, it just makes me really happy. And someone is vacuuming, so I'm sorry if you guys can hear that. And yeah, I tried to put a bench here with some stuff on it, but whenever I used the move objects cheat to put stuff on the little bench, it just didn't work very well because it was like kind of floating. So I decided to put a table there instead, and I move it outside of the gardening area just to give it more space. And then this is actually the first time I think I've used the laundry stuff. I know I used some laundry stuff in a couple of builds. Okay, I know that, but this is the first time I actually used it in game because I didn't test those other houses. I tested this one, and you know what? I'm just gonna have to pause right here because there's a vacuum. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know how annoying that was in the part that I was still recording, but hopefully it's not too bad. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the laundry stuff. I didn't actually put a washer and dryer in here. I was planning on it, but I don't know, I just felt like I wanted to put the outdoor washing bucket thing in here, and then a clothesline, which I didn't know there was a clothesline because, like I said, I've not actually used the laundry stuff at all in my own gameplay. I know I've used it in a couple of builds and stuff before, but I didn't actually know there was a clothesline. So I decided to put the clothesline and just a little wash bucket. I don't know why, but I don't know, it just seemed like it went with this house a little bit better. And I was planning on putting a lot of cat stuff and things like that, but I forgot to actually put cat items in the house. I did put a couple of cat decorations, like that little planter thing in the window there, and I think I might have put it in the house as well, and a few other little cat decorative items. But I actually forgot to put cat items like a food bowl and some toys and stuff in the house, because my grandma, whenever I was growing up, she always had a cat. He was like this orange tabby cat. His name was Monkey, and he was very evil, but I liked him, and yeah, that's why I decided this person had a cat. And yeah, here's what I was talking about on the top shelf. I couldn't actually fit plants because they were too tall, so I just had to size down a bunch of other items, because if I sized down the plants too much, they just looked kind of wimpy and small, and I didn't like them. So I just decided to put a bunch of different storagey type looking items. I don't know why there's dog bones. I'm just gonna pretend there's something else. But yeah, it just made me happy. I like the way the little shed thing turned out. It's cute. And then yeah, I think this is the last part I'm doing outside, I'm pretty sure, because I think I already added a bench to the tree, but I can't remember. And then I think we'll be moving inside. We should be. I don't really remember. But yeah, this house, I don't think it took me too long to build, considering how much time I spent cluttering everything. But I don't know, it makes me happy. And then the inside of I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with the walls just yet, but the exterior is kind of like this Tudory type pattern, so I decided to just put that inside just because my favorite game, Fable, has like the same kind of thing, like their Tudor style looking buildings. They have the same wallpaper on the interior, and I just really like it, and I love that game. It makes me happy. But yeah, that's why I decided to do it. And here I'm just trying to figure out which counter I want. I was gonna go with the green one just because I thought they looked really cool, but I didn't like the weird brown color on top. It just looked like a baby's diaper, so I decided not to go with that one, and I went with these other base game counters instead, and I thought they went better with the house anyway, and they make me happy. So yeah, I did use base game appliances. That's the word, right? Yeah, base game appliances. I used this, what's it called, refrigerator, and I used the stove that goes with it, and I do change the colors to brown. I don't know if I include that in the building part. I know it's in the pictures because I did be sure to test everything and change everything how I wanted it before I uploaded it this time, because usually I just upload it as soon as I finish the build. But I really wanted to test this one first, and I wanted to upgrade some of the appliances and the plumbing and everything, because I did use some of the cheaper items, so I didn't want everything to just break. And I don't know, I just like the house. It makes me happy. And yeah, we're just adding in a few clutter items. At first I just stick everything everywhere, and then I go in and fix everything and move them where I want them to be. The kitchen does work. I've used it. The bedroom works just fine. I wasn't sure if the bedroom would work because I do put a desk in there, and it's kind of close to the bed because it's not a very large room. And I'm just gonna have to pause this for a second. Okay, sorry about that. People are upstairs moving things around, and it's just kind of annoying. I don't know if you can hear it in the microphone, but I can hear it with my headphones on, so I'm assuming you can probably hear it through the microphone, so I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I feel like that's probably going to be going on for quite a while, so I'm going to try and wrap up the voiceover part and just put music to the rest of the video. I'm so sorry, guys, but yeah, I just can't talk over it too much because I don't know how loud it's going to be. And I'm sure it's probably going to be pretty annoying for you guys. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like I said, it is on my gallery. I'll put a link in the description if you guys would like to download it. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, or subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!